Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. In 2019, Glashütte Original of Germany launched the new Specialist collection, and this is one of the flagships. It is the SeaQ Panorama date, the outsized date on the SeaQ model inspired by late 1960s East German diving watches. This watch, which is made in the state of Saxony, channels that spirit while giving us modern size, fit, finish materials, and of course technical specifications. And it is a large watch in a combination of rose gold and stainless steel, 43.2 millimeters in diameter, 15.9 millimeters thick, and 51.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now there is a smaller model that's truer to history, so this is designed to be a tribute to history, not a re-edition, and you can see that on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's large. It compares in size to something like a Blancpain 50 Fathoms, and although that's a 45 and this is a 43 and change, they really do sit the same, especially lug to lug. They're almost identical. In terms of thickness, there's a lot of similarity. I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, but any smaller, you're probably going to have lug overlap issues. The watch has a lovely strap in vulcanized rubber. You can see there's a chevron pattern on the top. It's all satin finish. And then there's a large chevron pattern on the bottom, presumably to better grip the wrist. It's a brand new Geo factory strap, and it's accompanied by a full deployant clasp. You can see twin trigger release. Press the triggers, it pops open. It's a double fold, and externally it is polished and satinated for good measure. Close it up. That gives you protection against dropping your watch. And we have a case band that is probably the most overtly historical element of the watch. You can see that the case band is narrow. The lugs have minimal beveling and they're squared off on their end, and that really does have the look of the 60s. We have relatively short crown guards. We have a crown with both media blasting and polish, which I like. You can see the same on the knurling of the bezel, which is alternately satinated, that is media blasted internally, and polished externally. The bezel has a pronounced 120 click action. It's not quite as loud and chunky as something like a Doxa Sub or a Panerai Luminor Submersible, but being a 120 click bezel rather than those chunkier 60 click styles, this is a watch that has a great deal of precision. You can really locate that index and line it up with the vintage broad arrow style minute hand. So let's do a loom shot right here. As you can see, the bezel pearl is loomed. You can use it to time an interval up to 60 minutes. The chronograph seconds hand is also loomed, which I think is important. It gives you a operation indication in the dark when you're diving at depth, so you know your watch is still running. You can see it's an upscale watch, and it has a ceramic insert within the bezel, according to Glashütte. And we have a lovely domed cambered sapphire that's designed to evoke the late 60s plexiglass of the original. We have an ardoise or anthracite metallic sunburst dial on top of which gold indices and numerals have been placed. And you can see the hands in rose gold are nicely polished. We have a little faceted step down from the dial to the date, and the date discs are both flush to each other, a symbol of the company's dedication to precision. There are some firms out there that still have their date discs on two different planes when it's a double digit. Here they are completely flush to each other. And then of course there are also ardoises to match the color of the dial, an oversight many companies make. They use some sort of a date disc that's a different color than the dial, not a problem here. Now this watch includes a quick set for the disc, and you can see how snappy the jump is. And it's a great piece of theater to play with that. We also have a stop seconds function, so you can stop the seconds hand and set it to a reference time. Turn it all over. And back in 2016, we saw the first of Glashütte Original manufactured caliber 36. What we have here is the 36-13, and it retains a lot of the virtues from that original. It's adjusted in 6 positions to standards that go beyond the bare COSC. This is a fully cased up 6-position test rather than an ISO 3159 chronometer style a 5-position bare movement test. This is all done assembled, and the tolerances are beyond the -4+6 of the COSC and the ISO. It's a 4 Hertz beat rate, so 8 beats per second, automatic winding. It's a 100-hour power reserve. Caliber 36 family was Geo's first use of an anti-magnetic silicon hairspring, and that's what we have right here. And as you can see, it is a good-looking movement. The 6-position adjustment is redoubtable. The finishing is impressive. We have both black polished and fired blued screws. We have Glashütte stripes. We have black polish on the swan's neck regulator, the stud holder, the center of the winding bearing. You can see some of the wheels and intermediate wheels in the winding system have a combination of polish and then satination with solarization on the ratchet wheel. You can also appreciate that there is a reduction wheel adjacent to the rotor. It's part of the winding system that is elaborately hand solarized. And then there is a spiral texturing on the flanks of the movement. It's a good looking caliber overall, and all of this water resist down to 300 meters. So it is a capable timekeeper, and it's also a capable dive watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this reborn East German diving special.